rock.
The GG combo.
The GG combo. Now, two great front lines, one tanky, one potentially immune to crowd control, and true damage, and more importantly, AoE true damage, and long distance pickup potential. So now, if both teams are just dancing around, the Gourd's Mystic Projectile will be the main thing that can be used excessively, right? Spammed out, and if it lands, ONIC can follow up, do some damage, or they can just trade a bit of damage and back away. They can feint out these engages and force out the Netherrealm. That is what's important when you're going up against a team with such decisive ultimates.
That's the thing though, but on the flip side, it worries me. Oh, there you go, Masha. Still gonna come through. Ah, okay. So it still worries me though, right? If your whole composition is based on resources, like a big ult, or there's like no like, what is it called? Like constant DPS going against a cult altar, that concerns me.
Exactly, right? When your ultimates are also decisive, it's very easy for a farmer to just decide when to use the Netherrealm. But when you can feint it out, that's gonna be the advantage that you have. But of course, with a Masha now in the picture for DEWA United, man, ONIC's backline is looking quite vulnerable. But I think mainly that's targeted at the Gourd, especially without any close-range, easy peel solutions. Only the Mystical Projectile, it might force him to not be able to use that Mystical Projectile in an aggressive manner.
So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Will the Kings bow down once again in the presence of the gods? We will see in this best of 3 series as we welcome you into the land of Dawn for game number 1, DEWA versus ONIC.
Seems ONIC want to just go fight fire with fire. Because they know the Masha was up for grabs. They actually banded out against Alter Ego just yesterday when they picked up the Ling in Game 3. So they knew it was a part of Drion's hero pool, and they just want to try to out-execute it.
I mean, how can you not know it's part of Drion's hero pool when he was the person who initially just brought it up into the scene? In the battle spells though, Watt and Keys going with the Purify, really respecting the amount of crowd control, AoE crowd control especially for ONIC, but that means they're quite vulnerable to potentially Kyrie coming in with aggression.
Instantly, first blood by Kyrie. That's the bad part about picking up Purify.
Yeah, right on cue. As we were talking about it, no mobility means they need to be very respectful for Kyrie. They'll have security against Keyboy, but now that becomes the feint, the mind game that ONIC can bring to the table. Looking at the emblems here, Watt and Drian with the Master Assassin here, attempting to go solo for the most part, going for the 1v1s, but Kyrie immediately going in aggressively. He has the Rupture for extra damage penetration in the early game, and he has the Seasoned Hunter, by the way, so he's gonna be clearing a lot faster than maybe Drian can expect to try and punish on that roam Masha.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? Like, even though they put their bets into Drian on the Masha, Kyrie does still have a level lead above Gary. So in the first 1 minute, 2 minutes, that plan hasn't really come to fruition. But it doesn't seem like Drian has opted to commit onto it. There must be a different reason. Maybe they're gonna try and utilize Drian, like you guys mentioned before, onto Sans later on in team fights.
That's what we are expecting for sure, but now look at this. Kimura already making a big play for Sans. He's still gonna be quite secure, but Kimura uses an ultimate. With Gary going on the turtle already, it gets reset by Keyboy.
Beautifully done by Keyboy, and Carrie's 2 levels up now. They will have to look for a fight, but even then, no final slash. Remember, Mystic Gush almost taking Case down. He still has another run, but the Brazos Wrap will connect to Lutpi. Keyboy with the barrier, not able to find Case right now. Kimura is unable to get the clear on Lutpi. Meanwhile, CW, the Blazing Duet, clearing out the mid lane. DEWA still with the control over this neutral objective. Keyboy, finds Case in the bush, but it's a bit too late as Kimura jumps in on the Kyrie, and that is 1, that is 2! Thunderclaps with the final slash that is back on cooldown. And that's the power of the Masha.
That's the roamer bursting down the jungle, right? The power of the Masha and the vulnerability of having an assassin instead of a fighter in the jungle. Despite ONIC having a bit of a lead right there, maybe if they secure the kill on Keys, it'll be different. But right there, with them just being a bit too aware, a bit too careful, they open up the space for DEWA to pull the trigger and engage first towards Kyrie. That is not how ONIC wants these fights to really play out.
So that was the purpose of the Masha, right? Even though Kyrie was 2 levels ahead of Gary, it's no problem if he's taken out altogether, and it's a very curious sight to see, as back in the day, it would have been Drian to try and defend Kyrie, and maybe because he has that information, he might know the weaknesses to Kyrie as well.
Oh, that's a fair point. I mean, the intelligence game definitely plays a role here. Drian already going in aggressive.
Thunderclap, that's 2, that's 3! He doesn't get the kill, but he's delayed this clear, and Fredrin will be walking up, so they want to be going for it. Keyboy with the ball, charge and a blazing web. Perfectly timed in the round right there. Sansa is going to be taken pretty low. Keyboy as well, scratched down by Watt with the Lycan bounce to CW. Gets rid of K's. Gary has taken away the purple, but Watt is caught in no man's land, but he is a Lycan werewolf kind of guy, so he gets out. 2-member final slash. Watt coming back in again as Utpi gets chunked, but is still able to escape. Did DEWA win that trade?
It was a 1-for-1, but it was K's for Keyboy, but they did get the purple buff.
I feel like overall it's still pretty decent for ONIC, despite the fact that, you know, there's objective traded up from both sides. The fact that they're getting some kills, some resources here means that they do have more resources to try and snowball a bit more, but Gary goes in with that Appraiser's Wrath. Not just enough. And DEWA now showing again that they have full control over the map for the most part. With that early game threat, with the Masha damage supplementing the sustainability coming in from the Faramis. When it comes to these small skirmishes, they definitely have a bit of an edge unless ONIC can get a decisive pick-off before any big sequence does start.
Lutpi trying to create a chance, a window of opportunity for Kyrie, who's waiting that bush. Penalty zone into the fracture. Kimura trying to stay alive. Good nether realm to stop the assassination attempt, but Kimura is forced to flick around now. 3-man wall charges Case, goes back in on the Kyrie, but now gets bursted down just a bit. Drian looking for the thunderclaps. Now on the Kyrie again, buying enough time for Gary to secure the neutral objectives. But take a look at DEWA's resources. Kimura and Case, the 2 Ks need to recall. Watt rotating in the mid lane as CW tries to go and clear it out. It's a kill for a neutral objective.
The turtle take from DEWA right here. This is the big problem with Masha. You can't really crowd control her down because she lives for that much longer. She can chase you down as well. Good movement speed on that hero. So you have to try and focus her down so that she cannot do more damage to your backliners. While they're doing that, DEWA just uses that opportunity to just rush over the turtle and potentially the next few neutral objectives. So ONIC need to find a way around this, right? Because this is the go-to right now. They have to try and break this pattern.
They need to break this pattern, yes, but Sans, okay, still able to flicker out, won't be denied that, but the problem was, even if you mentioned, right, they needed to look for a really good pickoff before the fight begun, but with the presence of the Netherrealm, it gets a little bit tricky, unless, of course, there is a way to bait that out before they go in for something like a pickoff.
To be fair, earlier, Kimura was almost taken out before the Netherrealm got to him, right? So with a few more items in the inventory of ONIC, they can go for even more decisive of plays. The longer this game goes, the more DEWA needs to be a bit more careful. But Drian, as always, man, so annoying on this Masha, just relentlessly pursuing Kyrie whenever he gets a glimpse of that jungle.
And that's why it's interesting that even though they opted for an assassin jungle, they let the Masha open. These 2 heroes, right? Masha and Hilda are the 2 heroes that are very notorious and are able to harass Kyrie. And we've seen Kyrie fall and shatter to pieces every time he gets pressured, and we're getting glimpses of that again. But of course, Lutfi does trade it in with a objective there. He gets the turret.
That's just the advantage of ONIC, right? They have macro presence, but Keyboy now being the main focus for the side of DEWA.
Wow. Wild charge there. Kimura jumps into the midst of it all right now with the final slash as well. Watt, amazing Lycan pounce to the back as Kyrie is zoned away by Kimura. Drian dealing with the side wave already, now going to mid to cover again. Sans, early Mystic Gush here. And DEWA have full control of this neutral objective. Watt taking the turret up top. Penalty zone, only onto Kimura right now. CW pops in a battle mirror image, but now we'll get zoned by Drian. Thunderclap 1 already there. And now with the Thunderclap reset, it's not really going to make a lot of difference because he will be slain before he can actually pop it off. Lutpi all alone, isolated. DEWA with a great trade back.
Very curious that ONIC opted to re-engage in that teamfight when they had no resources, right? Sans didn't have ult, he doesn't have the Mystic Gush. CW also didn't have his ult.
I think they felt that they have enough damage to really burst 1 member down, which they did. But again, it's just Drian And all things considered, he's still doing a great job, having more impact, having more EXP even, because he's the one being used as a split push threat. That's what DEWA is using to try and curb this assassin threat. Kyrie though, getting low.
The Shadow Stampede brings him back. Kyrie knocked up and taunted again. Gary stabs him one last time, and Keyboy, Power of Nature is going to go away. Kimura's waiting for that final slash window, but he decides not to use it. Not just yet. Now! The final slash onto Sans and Keyboy.
Oh.
And now locked down. That's a 4-man penalty zone into the Mystic Gush, and the damage will be enough. As CW goes in for cleanup with the Blazing Duet to the back, finding more. Ludwig is still alive. He picks up a double, but look at Drian. That's 2 Thunderclaps. That's 1 more last hit, and now on CW. Triple kill for Ludwig as he goes down.
That was beautiful. That was beautifully played by ONIC. We were worried about resource usage, but they were able to combo it very well. The fact that they were waiting for the the Nether Realm to pop off, and then Sans uses the Mystic Gush to take the Cult Altar down, and then they use the Blazing Duet from CW to finish it off. For Ludwig to take in that triple kill, the order of things, the way it was systemized, it was unfortunate that DEWA took that team fight under the turret as well, and in a very small space where ONIC are able to capitalize over.
Exactly. It seems like they're already used to the tempo, the momentum of going for these fights again and again, pushing the pace onto ONIC. But right there, grouping together, when you're up against a Terizla that is tanky, against a Grok that can counter-engage, and the Gourd. I think the idea is to go and burst down the Gourd and then finish off both tanks afterwards. But the fact that he got stunned right there, and Sans was able to get a full duration Mystic Field and Mystic Gush towards everyone, that was just disastrous for the side of DEWA. But ONIC, once again, going back at it, trying to recover, even though ONIC are able to get a couple of objectives from that sequence of events. So that means it's a great lead for them.
Fracture into the Mystic Gush, and it ticks away. Blazing Duet to the back, Watt. Force used like inform. Keyboy with a wild charge. Oh! CW pops in Battle Mirror Image as Watt pops the like and pounce, and he gets baited. He jumped all the way to Kyrie's hands, and even Gary with the Appraiser's Wrath cannot find anything. Now with Triad all alone, looking for a shutdown, but CW is so clean with it with the Battle Mirror Image.
That's it. All 5 members are taken out in the 10th minute of the game, nearing to 11. And the Sky Kings wreak havoc onto the gods, claiming every objective possible. That's an uncontested Lord for ONIC now.
Insane plays from ONIC right here. The engage, the fact that they just jump on keys, takes him out before he can even pop the Nether Realm, and afterwards, the jukes, the kiting, to ensure that Drian can't even recover with any single kill on the situation. CW in particular, man, moving slowly, waiting in the bush, and just timing the right exact moment to go back to the Battle Mirror Image, man. He just completely jukes Drian.
This guy's so good. Before the fight, did you notice 3rd item Wind of Nature, the rush, because of the kill threat that DEWA have?
Yeah, the Wind of Nature, and now already with the Cogent Sight as well, so full core items along with immunity to the physical damage.
The barrier and the gun down. CW is the assassin now. Drian cannot withstand that damage, and he can't even run anywhere with a barrier placed down. ONIC look for more. Keyboy, Power of Nature, penalty zone into the Mystic Gush, and now a defensive Nether Realm to try to keep them alive, but the Nether Realm will be deleted instantly. Final slash to the back right now as Kyrie will still be able to dash away, and a Blazing Duet. CW finding another unstoppable. Gary, Appraiser's Wrath. Ludwig dodges away from the sweet spot in the middle, and ONIC take 2 base turrets.
It's so poetic. I feel like that was really poetic. I mean, every time they go in for a team fight, it's always Drian the last one standing. An ex-ONIC player. They used to be on the same team, and you can see that Drian is trying his best to bring DEWA out of this 8,000 gold deficit. And even when he got caught behind the wall, I don't know. Call me. What's the word for it? But call me cheesy. But
okay,
that felt really ironic that Drian was caught on the other side of the wall with ONIC.
Right. He still wants to be part of ONIC.
Come back.
Here's the replay though of the earlier fight. Just like that, a huge dive, and Ludwig again with the Terizla in the Age-O strat, using the Terizla's penalty zone to zone everyone away. Once that's over, DEWA use up all their cards, and ONIC just brute force, knowing that they have equalized in the gold lead. and now they are the ones in full control at an 8k gold advantage. Now it's DEWA just confused on what to do, because earlier on, it's quite simple. You go for a proper fight, and then Drian disrupts in the backline. But now if Drian goes forward, there's too much damage on the side of ONIC for him to survive long enough to do anything meaningful. But if he doesn't go in, then his team gets taken out slowly but surely. And like you mentioned, Eterna, he's left alone as a sole Masha against 5 people. He doesn't have a good option at all in this situation.
Yeah, it's a bit too much to ask at this point. I mean, look at these stats. The 2 core members from ONIC, CW 506, Sans 2011. What's the gold difference? Oh, there you go. That's the gold difference, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 2,000 gold lead by Sans alone.
2,500 and already a Winter Truncheon as well as the core double wand with Enchanted Talisman. So spammable spells, as you've seen, he is just throwing those out and about. And even when you graze the Mystic field for just a bit, if you're a fighter like Drian or Gary or Watt and Kimura technically, you just lose a lot of HP purely from the burn, from the glowing wand. So it's great itemization, and that means that DEWA can't really move efficiently around the map the way they want to, and they can't really use their regenerations well as well, because the glowing wand will stop them from popping it, delaying the course of action for them even more.
It's tough.
If you look at the items for Watt as well, no defensive items, it's full aggression, knowing that his team is lacking in the damage department. For Kimura and Gary, it's all about surviving against CW. The late game Claude, they're trying to deal with it with the Blade Armor, but Drian,
1v1 the Kage. Oh, Kyrie buys the immortality. He now dashes out. No way!
Oh.
Kai has outplayed Drian, but now Kimura comes into the fray. It's a good penalty zone to stop Kimura from doing more damage. Mystic Gush is placed down as well.
Oh.
Another round, but CW with the blazing duet takes them out. Now for another. Get rid of taunt. CW with nature. And ONIC with a possible end angle. Swaps in with nature for the immortality. What? Can he do it with Gary? Gary walking forward. Watt jumping with Lycan Pounce as well, but CW also still has the immortality. He finds it that Rose Gold Meteor as well to get the additional shield, and he survives! What the heck? The Sky Kings! They're back!
The Sky Kings gonna lead this series against the Sons of God this time around with a convincing performance. Waiting for that power spike.